Welcome back. You are listening to the Mario Mukwanda Show on Salam Media. It is another Wednesday, the 20th, the 21st. Yesterday was the 20th, the 21st of October 2020. And it's time for our health and fitness. Today we are talking about exercises that undo the damage of sitting for a long time. Now, let's assume the average adult spends 5 hours every day sitting down in front of the office desk, plus an additional hour during a commute, and another watching television after work. This adds up to approximately 7 hours a day and 51 hours a week in a sedentary position, sitting down in a chair. Over their lifetime, this could add up to a whopping 18 years spent sitting down. Now, if those numbers are not scary enough, those numbers are not shocking you to get up and do something about that, then perhaps the damage that it will do to your body is going to shock you enough. But we would like to avoid that damage. And joining me is Luyanda Aziza Sibizi, who is a fitness trainer and coach, to tell us how we can undo that damage. Assalamu alaikum, Coach Luyanda.
Walaikum salam, sis. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, all good in yourself?
I'm great.
All right. So first of all, what damage does sitting for too long causes?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's not good to always just be sitting, for long periods of time, because eventually it can lead to a lot of stiffness, and stiffness can lead to injury because sometimes, like we spoke about in the previous weeks, the muscle is like a memory. So when the muscle forgets that it needs to move, and then you suddenly move, you can either snap it, or you can tear it, or you can sprain it. So sitting for too long can get your muscles out of memory and really create a lot of problems, joint pain, stiffness, and just overall, bad posture and feeling like you just, not alive, and poor circulation. Because remember, when you're walking, you stimulate blood flow and circulation in your whole body, in your spine, down your legs, in your arms, and then obviously the oxygen to your brain as well. So it's very, very important to try to at least keep moving at least 1 hour each time you're sitting. After an hour, get up and then move around, do something just to make sure that you maintain your flexibility and just your muscle suppleness.
Mhm. Speaking about blood circulation, I once watched a show where this guy was sitting for too long because he's a gamer. So he spent like, I don't know how long, probably must have been a week in the same position, seated. He would even use the toilet where he was sitting. He wouldn't even get up to use the toilet. And then the moment that he actually decided to get up, he just fell down and died, which is very, very odd because it came down to the circulation that, it just, the blood just started pumping quickly up to his heart. And then, he like couldn't take it and boom, he fell, he dropped dead just because of that. So sitting for too long is not a good thing. And how much exercise should a person do to counteract that sitting for too long?
Okay, so I don't know. I think I fell off the call and I lost you there for a second. So I don't know if you can hear me now and if I'm back.
Right, working from home is always going to bring a bit of technical difficulties when it comes to network. But yeah, we're going to try our very best to make the most out of this interview. Luyanda, if you can hear me, please um, let me know. Is it better now?
Much better. I just had to plug out and plug back in. So I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear
Good.
you.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let us start first with how can we do, or rather, what exercise can we do to undo the damage? I know you spoke about just getting up and taking a walk and then coming back. But if a person has been sitting down for like 51 hours a week, that
Yeah.
that will definitely do a lot of damage to the body.
A lot of damage. A lot of damage. So I brought something to demonstrate.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys are into a demonstration since we haven't been in studio for
Oh,
so long.
definitely, definitely.
So okay, so I'm going to be talking to you guys about mobility. Okay, so this is a
Mm-hmm.
mobility stick, and it's a fancy word because you can literally just take it. So what I did is I just took a broom, an old broom, took off the head of the broom, and obviously, as you can see, it's just a normal stick.
Mm-hmm.
So mobility sticks help you to really just keep mobile. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do. Like maybe once, every hour that you're sitting down, you get up and you can do some of these mobility stick movements. I hope you can see me. So here, what I'm doing is I'm just improving the mobility in my lower back. Sometimes you can even hear it click. Slowly, nothing too vigorous. This is just going to help you with your mobility in your lower back. And then this is just to open up your shoulders. So I'm holding the stick like this, and you can just pull it all the way back, obviously very gently, to make sure that you don't injure your rotator cuff. So as you can see, I'm gently just rotating the stick and making sure that I'm improving my muscle mobility there. And then the last one I'm going to show you, this is obviously when you've been sitting for too long, you can kind of row like you're rowing a boat, but like squatting and opening up, just open up those hip flexor muscles and then, just get some circulation going. You'll find that your heart rate does increase the more you do this. So this is kind of like you're rowing a boat, but you're squatting at the same time. So those are just a few things that you can do with a stick, a normal stick. At the gym, it's called a mobility stick. You can ask them for that. But here at home, we do DIY, and you can also just rotate it like that, as you can see. But the best way is to just make sure you've locked it behind your shoulders so that you can get a full range of motion. If you're not used to it, you'll find that you might not be able to twist all the way. Your twisting might stop, here because you're just not used to being mobile. But the more you do it, the more you'll be able to increase mobility in your shoulders, in your hips. And it's really just a great way to just improve your the amount of movement that you do in a day. So I don't know if that can help you guys, but I find it very helpful when I'm stiff. Remember, the whole point of being mobile and standing up is to obviously prevent muscle stiffness. So a mobility stick or just a normal pole from an old broom does absolute wonders.
Mm-hmm. And funny enough, we used to play with a stick like that when we were
Yes.
kids. I mean, we'd always just be, it was fun to do it. And now it's like, it's part of an exercise routine that will actually help our stiff backs.
So we're going back to basics, basically. Back to
Yeah.
our roots. Yeah.
And how often should we do this movement or this workout?
So look, as I said, so let's say in the morning you're sitting and you're working at your desk for 2 hours. Get up every 2 hours. You can do the mobility stick, or you can just maybe walk around your office block once or twice. So it all just depends. Like every 1 or 2 hours, try to get up and do. There's a lot of smart watches that remind you. Like, I mean, it's gotten to that point where some of our watches are like, "Hey, girl, you've been sitting for too long. It's time to stand up." So you can actually set it to alert you every 3 hours or every 2 hours to just stand up and get your body moving. But I would not recommend you do it less than every 3 to 4 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. All right, Coach Lou, please stay with us. We're going to take a quick break, but we will be right back.
Okay.
Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
As the crisis in Yemen continues, 80% of the population are in desperate need of basic necessities. The Africa Muslims Agency teams are on the ground undertaking emergency relief efforts. Come to the aid of the people of Yemen by donating any amount now towards food, shelter, and medication. Contact AMA now on 011 834 8685. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Dad, well, I've been chatting with an investment broker today and...
Broker? Did the broker tell you that our economy is a mess? There's bushfires in Australia, America wanted World War III, and now the coronavirus is traveling around the world.
Well, I also thought about purchasing some crypto.
Crypto? What's that, like another pyramid scheme? I don't trust what I can't see.
There's an apartment in Belito.
So only a family will be asking to stay there for free. And what if the government takes it away, eh?
Dad, I don't think it works like that.
I'll tell you what works. Gold. At your age, I invested in gold coins and it paid for your university fees and your wedding. No contracts, no agreements. Your investment is in your hands and you own it. With a 70% growth in only 5 years, do you still doubt gold investment? Contact RJ Coin today, 031 202 4701, or visit them at 151 Stephen Lamini Road in Musgrave, Durban. Randery Jewelers Gold Coin Exchange, your passport to gold investment.
After all these years, millions of Syrian refugees and displaced persons are still struggling to get adequate food and nutrition. Since 2014, the Al-Imdad Foundation's Flour for Syria campaign has provided daily bread to these Syrians. For just 5,000 Rand, you can sponsor 1 ton of flour and ensure that 10,000 pita loaves are delivered to desperate Syrian communities. Part donations are also accepted. Visit alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information. After all these years, millions of Syrian refugees and displaced persons are still struggling to get adequate food and nutrition. Since 2014, the Al-Imdad Foundation's Flour for Syria campaign has provided daily bread to these Syrians. For just 5,000 Rand, you can sponsor 1 ton of flour and ensure that 10,000 pita loaves are delivered to desperate Syrian communities. Part donations are also accepted. Visit alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back. We are talking about exercises that help undo the damage of sitting for too long with Coach Luyanda. And before the break, Coach showed us how we can undo the damage by simply using a broomstick or a mop stick, or at the gym called a mobility stick. And I'd like to imagine, or rather, I'm trying to picture people at work behind the office desk just pulling out the mobility stick from under the desk and going for it. Coach, thank you for staying with us on the line. I think that companies should implement a workout strategy or some sort of time, maybe at least 15 minutes of intervals, and have a group session with each group should go out and do a few exercises to stretch and stuff. Because I mean, if you want the most out of your employees, you should also be ensuring that they are healthy and they are able to put in extra hours instead of just sitting there straight away. I mean, have you noticed how fast people run for lunch?
Oh yeah, no, and for me, I used to be that girl in the office. I used to sometimes sit on a ball because my posture, or there was always something that I was doing. I would get up every 15 minutes and just like, stamp my feet. It was very weird. Or I would leave the office actually and walk around the block. And it's all part of just trying to, it's the same as smoke breaks, the same way smoke breaks have been normalized. My mission is to try to normalize a physical break, because I cannot operate if my body is stuck in the same place. So it's obviously, you are so right, corporates need to start getting into the habit of making it normal for people to stand up, to shift the energy, because exercise, I believe for myself as well, is such an energy shifter, and it increases the vibrational frequency of your entire energy spectrum. So when you are vibrating at a low frequency, you cannot even be creative. So you can't even perform well at work. So changing the energy by being physically active actually makes you more productive. It's been proven, and it actually is a thing. So, organizations need to definitely start including physical activity into their HR program, actually.
Yeah. Now, what about people who already have back problems? Will such exercises also work?
Yes. So remember, I showed you with the mobility stick, there's a lot of support. So you are not actually, bending out of sorts, and you're not doing anything that's too strenuous. And if you have a back problem, I'll show you. There is another one that you can do. You can literally just bend forward with the stick and bend back up. So here I am from the side in a 90-degree angle. This also helps with your hamstring. Remember, when you are suffering from a back pain, it's mostly because your back is carrying a lot of, the pressure. So once you strengthen your hamstring and your quads and the lower body, the back gets a lot of support. So this can help a lot for people with lower back problems, and you're not over bending and you're not bending backwards. You're literally straight in a normal standard position and bend in a 90-degree angle. That way you're making sure you're not overextending the movement as well. So back actually, back problems are a huge issue, but the mobility stick has shown that, it's a big, it's actually used a lot in physiotherapy as well. So this is safe for you to try out.
I came across a workout that used a towel, and they rolled it up, and they put the towel on the lower back, and you need to lie down, and then you have to put your feet in a certain way, your arms in a certain way. Does that help as well?
Yes, absolutely. So that is obviously a different form of stretching that actually puts pressure on the actual muscle to open it out and stretch it. So I don't know if you've ever heard of a foam roller. I should have actually brought it out because I use a foam roller as well. So what the foam roller does, pretend that this is a foam roller. It's a big foamy thing. It's a roller or a towel, in fact. And what you will be doing is you either lie on top of it and you press the muscle like this. This, as you can see, is different to stretching the muscle. This applies pressure to the muscle to make sure. So pretend that this was your lower back, and you're literally rolling on top of a foam roller or a towel. This applies pressure to the muscle, which forces it to actually loosen up. It warms it up a bit so that it's not as tight, because a lot of sprains and muscle injuries are caused by stiffness. So this adds some pressure to relieve a little bit of that stiffness. So yes, a towel is amazing, or a foam roller, or whatever you can get your hands on that won't obviously really be hurting you if you lie on top of it.
All right, now I'm upside down, so I need to rotate. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you're using a foam roller, how often should you do that workout?
So typically with foam rollers, sometimes I use a foam roller the day after exercising. Like in the morning when you really do feel the stiffness, or immediately after exercising, you can stretch with the foam roller. It really just depends on how you feel. But I would say, 2 to 3 times a week is a nice routine. So maybe you can do it on Monday and a Wednesday and a Friday, or you can just do it on a Tuesday and a Thursday. This will just obviously, get you into a routine. Because remember, you have to, with it, like with everything in exercise, you've got to do it consistently. So you can't just roll once and be like, well, okay, that's it, I'm fine now. it needs to be consistent. So 2 to 3 times a week of making sure that you're just getting your body used to that kind of movement of stretching out the muscle, and you should be good.
All right, just a little off topic. I'd like to know if you're taking, like if it's your rest day, you've worked out strenuously for 3 days and then you decide to rest. Can you do such a workout on your rest day, or should it be incorporated in your 3 days?
No, absolutely. This is actually, this forms part of an active rest day routine. So active rest day, which means you're not just sitting and doing nothing, but you're actually aiding in the recovery of your body. So rest days are meant for muscle recovery. And what better way to aid recovery than to stretch and to heal the muscle that obviously has been working so hard on the days that you're training. So active recovery includes all of this mobility and stretching and flexibility training is obviously, that forms part of rest day actually. So it's a bit of a contradiction, like, but I'm not resting. So rest is for recovery. So anything that aids in recovery forms part of your rest day.
Awesome. All right, Coach, please share with us your social media handles once again.
Yay! So I'm on Luyanda Aziza CBC on Facebook, and then on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Luyanda Aziza. So just pretty straightforward, nothing mysterious. So that's where you can get a hold of me.
Oh, and do you have any summer body boot camps or challenges that are coming up soon or are currently on?
Well, I'm working on something actually towards the end of October. We're doing something for summer. And this one really mainly focuses on not losing weight, not anything that's going to, it just focuses on all round wellness. So if you check out my social media, I am advertising and currently promoting that at the moment. So that is running. So if you want to just join my challenge just to feel well, not necessarily to lose weight or gain weight or whatever, but just to feel like you're incorporating a new routine, then that challenge will definitely be for you.
All right, awesome. Thank you once again for your time, Coach.
Thank you. Jazakallah for having me, sis.
Afwan, have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Right, that was a Coach Luyanda Aziza CBC, a fitness trainer and coach, taking us through exercises that can help undo the damage of sitting for too long. And as you've seen, something as simple as taking a broomstick, an old broom, if you have one. Please don't go buy a broom. I'm sure you have an old broom lying around in your house. Just take it. Take off the brush part of the broom and then use that as your mobility stick, and simple exercises that you can do in short intervals. I mean, even while you're watching TV, you don't have to sit down and watch TV all the time. You can just take your mobility stick and do the twists and do the bending and do the whatever else that it is that you can manage to do, and start slow and steady and build your way up. But don't sit for too long and do nothing. I know many of us have been sitting for too long, especially during this lockdown, but it's time to get up and do something about that, because we don't want stiff muscles. We don't want to be unfit. We want to be as healthy as we can. And by doing simple exercises like that, we can make it happen. It is 11:59 on this lovely Wednesday, the 21st of October. Do stay with us. We will be right back after the break.